All right, guys, listen. Jokes are all well and good. I'd like to take a couple minutes right now and talk about something that is important to me. And I will preface this by saying there's a lot of people right now who say that stand-up comedians should just stick to comedy and not talk about anything else. I disagree. I think that stand-up comedy doesn't always have to be funny. Stand-up comedy doesn't always have to be entertaining. Sometimes it's about speaking truth to power. Sometimes it's about pointing out wrongs in the world, even though it might not be popular. So please, indulge me. With all the terrible things going on in America right now, and you know exactly what I'm fucking talking about. With all the terrible things going on in this country right now, the thing that drives me the most crazy are the people who see all this awful stuff happening and they still flip out over the little things. My biggest pet peeve in America today are people who see all this horrible stuff going on and yet they still overreact to shit that just does not matter. For example, have you ever dropped a baby? Holy shit, do people overreact. You drop a baby in America today, I swear, people hit the roof before the baby even touches the floor. And it's not a big deal. How do I know? Because I do it all the time. In fact, I don't think I've ever held a baby to completion. And you might be thinking, Anthony, how could you drop a baby? You ever held a baby? How could you not? It's so easy. It's a two-step process, maybe less. Should you ask Anthony, why would anyone ever let you hold their baby? The answer is simple: negligence. I love it. It's a hobby. The only negative, the only drawback as far as I'm concerned, the embarrassment. People try to shame you when you drop their baby, even though I almost always make it look like an accident. That's why this is so great. You ever do this? You ever drop a baby and then scoop it right back up before anybody sees you? No shit. Best feeling in the world. You just hand the baby back and no one is the wiser. Especially not that baby. Happened to me just last weekend. I was at a party. One of my friends came up and said, Anthony, I gotta go to the bathroom. Will you hold my baby? And I tell the truth. I'm always 100% honest. I say, yeah, for a little bit. Held that baby 30, 45 seconds, a personal best. Dropped the baby. Scooped it right back up before anybody saw me. And it was close, too. Had to run down 3 flights of stairs. I'm gonna blow your minds right now. I'm gonna blow your minds at the back of your heads. You ready? I don't like kids. There's this 9-year-old girl. Tiny little 9-year-old girl. Tiny little 9-year-old girl lives in my neighborhood with a glass eye. Scares the shit out of me. Terrifies me to my very core. Anytime she sees me, she just fucking chases me around. Until she gets her eye back. It is the worst. Now that's a fun joke for you guys, I'll explain why. It's got incredible value. It's 2 laughs for the price of 1. You get to laugh at what I said, which was hilarious. And then you get a second laugh when you picture me stealing a child's glass eye. And most people, when they picture it, they see me just running up and snatching it out of her head and running away. Wrong. You don't want to just snatch out somebody's glass eye. You know why? Because if you guess wrong, you guess wrong, and now it's not just a funny prank anymore. Now you're in some trouble. In fact, that's how she lost the eye in the first place. What you want to do, if you're ever in this situation, hit her on the back of the head. Not hard. It's a child, you don't want to hurt it. Just hard enough to get that sweet glass eye. I'll be honest, I don't really understand how the legal system works in this country. I think it's unfair, needlessly confusing. Give you an example. One of my next door neighbor's kids is climbing a tree on their property, falls out of the tree and lands on my fence. Now I'm being told I've got to get myself a lawyer if I want to keep my half of the kid. How is that fair? And who's going to reimburse my taxidermy? I find that the older that I get, the more women get upset when you talk about kids. I don't mean joke about kids. I mean they get upset when the subject of children is brought up. Like I have a friend who just found out she can't have kids, according to Child Protective Services. You know, sometimes I wonder if I could kill someone. Like, do I have it in me to take a human life? And then I remember, oh yeah, Debbie. How do you forget Debbie? She was special. When I was in high school, my high school employed a blind janitor. 100% totally blind. And all the other kids would joke around that he went blind for masturbating too much. And at the time, I believed that. I was just a kid, I didn't know any better. It wasn't until I got older, wiser, I realized that's just an old wives' tale they used to use to try to explain why he was always masturbating. Now, my best friend's wife is a born-again Christian, and we do not get along at all. The other day, she called me up to yell at me, saying I'm a terrible influence on her husband because he called her a bad name. I said, what? Did he call you a bitch? She said, no, Anthony. He did not use the B word. I said, uh-oh. Did he call you a cunt? She said, no. I said, well, then he didn't hear it from me. Yeah, that's pretty much the greatest opening joke of all time. Because even if you've never heard of me before, which I doubt, you listen to that first joke, you're like, oh, I get it. He's fucking brilliant.